This is Dr. Anthony Chan. On behalf of the Speakers Network Worldwide, I wanted to give you another update as to what is going on in the economy for the week of April 6, 2020. Well, last week, the major highlight for the economy was the U.S. employment report. We saw a loss of 701,000 jobs. A lot of people say, oh, that wasn't a real number. The situation is different. Well, the reality is it was a real number. It was a snapshot that the government took for the second week in March, and that's exactly the situation. However, in the 2 weeks after that, in the second half of March, we saw an additional 10 million people filing for unemployment insurance. And guess what that means? That means that the numbers are going to get a lot worse. But we told you last week that we could see 25 million people losing their jobs. But this is not something to get scared of, because this is not like the Great Depression or the financial crisis. It's not that the economy is collapsing, it's that the government has shut the economy down in order to fight this virus, get us back to work, but also get us healthy and minimize the loss of death out there that occurs because of this terrible virus. So if we see as many as 25 million people losing their jobs, how many people, what would the unemployment rate be? Be somewhere around 15.5%. But again, what is the government doing to try to offset this? And why is this happening? It's happening because about 30% of the economy is shut down. We know that 41 states have some sort of a shelter in place, so people are working from home, and those that have jobs that you can't do from home, they're unemployed. But let's talk about some of the things the government is doing to try to offset that. Well, there's the CARES package. With the CARES package, the government is doing quite a bit in order to offset this. They're sending stimulus checks out there to people out there, even if you have a job. If you made $75,000 or less, the government is going to send you a check for $1,200. And if you have children that are under the age of 17, they're going to send you a check of $500 for every child. And then if you make a little bit more, up to $99,000, they scale it down a little bit. Beyond $99,000, of course, you end up not getting a check. They want to make sure that only those that actually need the money get it. And then, of course, unemployment benefits are also going to be enhanced. Let me give you an example. I live in New York City. If you're making $17,000 a year, that means your unemployment benefits will be about $468 a week. You might say that's not enough, and you're right. But now the government, over this 8-week period, is going to add another $600 to that check. So just think about it. That means that that worker that lost their job, that was making $17,000 a year, now over the period that the government is enhancing the benefits, they will be getting checks in the same amount that somebody that's making $34,000 a year. So essentially almost doubling your income over those 2 months. You might say, well, 2 months, that's not enough. Well, the government said, put it out as 2 months, but if this pandemic or this virus lasts a lot longer, then of course they'll increase it even longer. They certainly are not going to limit themselves to that period. And then of course they're also going to add $350 billion worth of help for small and medium-sized businesses. Let me give you some ideas. Right now they're going to do a lot of things. For small and medium-sized businesses, they're going to say you can even delay your Social Security payments on behalf of the workers. No more payments for the year 2020, and you don't have to pay that until 2021 or 2022. Then on top of that, they're going to tell the small and medium-sized businesses, keep your employees, even if you let them go, bring them back. And we will let you borrow money from the Small Business Administration. And then over that 8-week period, if you pay your employees, which you will if you bring them back, we will give you all that money back, And then on top of that, we'll also help you with your utilities, with your mortgage payments. So 75% of the money could be towards employees and 25% to the upkeep of your business. So in short, you can borrow all this money and then the loans will be forgiven. So all these things, this payment protection program, again, to help out with this terrible pandemic, because everybody knows that this was through no fault of anybody. This was a healthcare crisis. So this is going to help quite a bit. Now, a lot of people say, well, are there going to be any glitches? Of course, there's always glitches. There's 5.4 million small and medium-sized businesses. And we know that there are only 4,000 employees in the Small Business Administration, so that's going to be a little bit of a catch. But let me give you some other things that this program, I think, is going to help the overall economy. State and local governments, they're not going to collect as many sales taxes and things like that, and maybe even property taxes. Well, they're going to get $150 billion from the U.S. government. Education, from K to 12, they're going to get $30 billion. Public health and social services, because they're going to need a lot of money with this COVID-19. They're going to get another $100 billion. And of course, hospitals, to help them with the treatment, we're going to get another $80 billion. And even FEMA is going to get $45 billion. In short, the government is going to try to offset some of the pain. It's not going to eliminate everything. We're still going to see 20% plus decline in real GDP in the second quarter. But when you see those numbers, don't let them scare you, because the reality is that these numbers are annualized in nature. So let me give you an example. If in the second quarter real GDP declined by 24%, that really means that it declined by 8%, but the government multiplies by 4 times to get you on an annualized number, the 25% decline. So a lot of people still say, oh, this 8 weeks is not enough. That was something the government came out initially. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin has said that if this pandemic lasted a lot longer, they would not mind going back to Congress and asking for more money. And as we speak, guess what? The House of Representatives is already debating another program to give more stimulus to Main Street America in case things go wrong. The federal government is already talking about a infrastructure bill in order to build up the infrastructure of the U.S. economy. And again, that will create new jobs. So there's a lot more money that's going in there. And let's not lose sight of the fact that this is a healthcare crisis. And already the top medical experts are telling us we're making good progress. Dr. Scott Gottlieb has already told us making good progress on the antivirals that will allow you to control this virus until we get the vaccine, because the vaccine is not likely to come until 2021. And we're making good progress on antibodies. So again, if we're able to develop these therapeutic methods before the vaccine comes in 2021, we'll be able to open up the economy. So we'll see the economy taking a big hit in the second quarter. We'll still see a decline in the third quarter. I know that last week we talked about that. It wasn't the consensus on the street. Some people got back to me and said, are you sure the economy is going to be weak in the third quarter? This week, the consensus on Wall Street is we'll have weakness in the second quarter, weakness in the third quarter, and some recovery in the fourth quarter. So that is the way it's going to be. And so, yes, the economy is slowing down, but again, the government is there to help. Thank you so much. This was Dr. Anthony Chan on behalf of the Speakers Network Worldwide, and we look forward to speaking with you again.